Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sosilawati H.Hibali. Uh, my study number 120204019. I'm from class 6D. And now I will explain. I will explain two topic. My first topic about Okay, my first topic about the search of Islamic law. Okay, my first topic about the search of Islamic law. The first material from the first topic, understanding source of Islamic law. Islamic law is the law established by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, though revelations now found in the Quran and explain about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as his messenger through his current Sunnah well preserved in the Hadith books. Islamic law also has several objectives, including um, the first, to be obeyed and run by Muslims, and the second, as a guide of life. The next material, there is a various source of Islamic law. The first various source of Islamic law, there is Al-Quran. Al-Quran is the holy book of Muslims as well as the first and foremost source of Islamic law. In language, the Quran comes from the word qara'a, means read, because the Quran is a book that must be read and studied by people who believe the truth. And then, um, in terms, the Quran is the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala referred to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam through the angel Gabriel, written in the Mus'haf and narrated mutawatir. The Quran function less as text, prescribing, prescribing, prescribing what is wrong, and more of a text describing the the divinity of God and the code of conduct that must be followed by a true Muslim. In the stricter sense, anyone who would do anything not prescribed or condemned in the Quran would not be able to receive Jannah or heaven. In more drastic cases, that person would be termed as a non-believer or kafir. Okay, the next material, there is content of the Quran. Content of the Quran. The Quran was revealed gradually over a period of approximately 23 years to the Prophet Muhammad. Consists of uh, consists con- okay consists of 30 Jews 30 Jews and Okay, consists of 30 juz and 140 surah. The main content of the Quran includes five things as follows. Verse Tauhid, Tauhid, and then worship, next, promise and treats. And then there is the way to achieve happiness in the world and the hereafter. And then stories. Okay, and then the next material, there is hadith. Hadith is a saying or news. Hadith is one word information from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, while al sunnah is a way of life that is passed or life or something that is good used to. The sunnah of the Prophet is what is usually carried out in Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam life. Habits are like words and deeds, and the word sunnah means commendable path. Sunnah is a one word deeds, takrir, a physical characteristic or moral that are abandoned by the apostle as well as well as good life behavior before being before being appointed become an apostle, like the exile he did in the cave here, or after his apostles his seat. um, and then um, there is kinds of hadith. uh, there is kauliya hadith, and then hadith filia, and then takriya hadith, and then last hamimiyah hadith. Uh, the f- the function of hadith on the Quran as a bayan takrir, as a bayan tafsir, and then as a bayan tashir, and then as bayan tashri. And then the next material about the search of Islamic law, ijtihad. Based on the language, ijtihad have the same root word with the word jihad. Namely, jud means to be serious, and jad, which means difficult. Jihad and ijtihad both require sincerity and experience difficulties, so that the main meaning of ijtihad is sincerity, because of what is faced is something difficult. In terms, ijtihad means trying in earnest to solve a problem for which there is no legal provisions, but in the Quran and Hadith, ijtihad ijtihad is a problem mind processing in order to understand the text of the Quran and Hadith, or looking for a way out of a legal problem, for a problem that the answer is not found in the Quran and Hadith. Okay, the function of ijtihad, as an uh, as as answer to the problems of life explained by Muslim, for which there are no legal provisions in the Quran or Hadith in solving problems, provided that they comply with the principle contained in the Quran and Hadith. And then the rule of reason is highly valued in Islamic teaching. Okay. Okay. The next material forms of ijtihad. Ijtihad is a process in taking the law, which the process can take several forms. Forms agree ijtihad normally as follows: ijma and qiyas. Ijma based on the language means agree. Meanwhile, according to the term, ijma is the agreement of the mujtahid in deciding a problem after Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam died against Shari law on an event. Example: determination law drove ijma among them is correction versus Al Quran, which is still separated than recorded as mushaf. And then there is qiyas. Qiyas, from a linguistic standpoint, means measure, compare, weigh, whereas according to them, qiyas is to determine the law for an event that has no basis in the text compared to another event that has been determined the law is based on the text, because there are a lot similarities between both inside. For example, equate the law of liquor, which has no argument in the Quran or Hadith, such as wine, say bintang beer, vodka or whiskey, and others with hammer, because they are all equally intoxicating. Okay, for the conclusion for topic the sort of Islamic law. The source of Islamic law are the Al Quran and Hadith, complemented by consensus and analogies. The interpretation of Islamic law is a complex and ongoing process, and the study of Islamic jurisprudence remains an important field of study for Muslims around the world. Understanding the source of Islamic law is essential for anyone wishing to understand the legal form that governs Muslim life. Okay. Um, the okay. Finish from the source of Islamic law. Next, I will explain about the second topic. Okay, the second topic about the nature and scope of Islamic jurisprudence or or what is that? Or Fiqh. Okay, the next okay, now the nature and scope of Islamic jurisprudence. audience. Okay, the first material about the second topic, namely the nature of Islamic jurisprudence or fiqh in Islam is known as Islamic jurisprudence, one of the dynamic disciplines dealing with the practical regulation and rules of the Sharia, such as observance of worship rituals and social legalism derived from the primary source of the Quran and Sunnah. In other words, fiqh is the legal dimension of Islam and increases experience of the Sharia laws. Fiqh can best be defined as the study of the science of the different law and Islamic jurisprudence. Okay. Um, okay. The next, there is scope of Islam, scope of Islamic jurisprudence. Um, in general, the discussion of this fight covers two areas, namely fight, the fiqh of worship, which regulates the human relation with their God, such as prayer, zakat, pilgrimage, fulfilling vows, and paying expiation for violation and all. And second, mualaf, sorry. And second, muamalah fikih, which regulates 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 human relation with other humans. His studies cover all areas of fiqh apart from ubudiyah issues, such as terms of sale and purchase, leisure, marriage, jinayah, and others. And then, okay, sorry guys. Um, and then, meanwhile, Mustafa and Zarqa divided the study of fiqh into six areas, namely legal provisions relating to the file of ubudiyah, and then legal provisions relating to family life, and then legal provisions relation to social relations between Muslim in the context of economy, relation on service, and next, legal provisions relation to sanction against criminal acts, for example, kias, diat, and hudud. This file is called Fikih Janiyah. Fikih Janiyah. Sorry, Fikih Jinayah. In the next, legal provisions governing the relationship between citizens and their government. And then the next matter, Okay, and then legal provisions governing the ethic of association association between a Muslim and others in the social life orders. Okay. The conclusion about the nature and scope of Islamic jurisprudence or fiqh. Um, Fiqh is the understanding or interpretation of the scholars of verses and hadith in detail which the jurists uh, attribute to Islamic law with their understanding of of, of course it it is very possible that there may be difference of opinion among the scholars and the difference of opinion. The scholars were influenced by several factors, including language skill, knowledge, or scientific discipline, process, situation and condition, and overall understanding of the hadith. The and then the scope of fiqh is divided into several of them are fiqh of worship, ahwal sakshiyah, fiqh muamalah, fiqh jinayah, and fiqh siyasah. After learning about the nature of Islamic scope of Islamic jurisprudence, this will increase everyone's knowledge about the science of fiqh so that it can be used for future life. Okay. Um. Okay. This all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.